You know what advice everyone loves to give? Live in the moment. It's everywhere. Yoga instructors say it, your therapist says it. It's probably written on a throw pillow somewhere in your house right now. And honestly, it sounds pretty good. Very zen, very enlightened. Except, what if the moment sucks? Like, what if you're sitting in traffic for the third time this week and your boss just texted you at 9 p.m. and you're eating gas station sushi because you forgot to grocery shop again? Is this the moment I'm supposed to be living in? Should I really be savoring the experience of my life slowly falling apart in real time? Because that's what mindfulness feels like sometimes. Just being very aware of how screwed you are. And look, don't get me wrong, I understand the concept. Stop worrying about the future, stop dwelling on the past, just be present. But here's the thing, nobody tells you. Most of your present moments are just waiting. Waiting for the microwave, waiting for payday, waiting for someone to text back so you can finally stop checking your phone every few seconds. Or worse, stuck in line behind a guy arguing over old coupons while you clutch 2 bananas and battle a serious caffeine crash. And if you're really living in those moments, congratulations, you're now hyper-aware of how boring your life is. But, let's be honest, nobody's in that sweet spot. You're either too stressed to enjoy anything, or you're so chill that you forget to pay rent and suddenly you're very mindfully experiencing homelessness. And here's what really gets me. The people who give this advice are usually the same ones who have their entire year planned out in color-coded spreadsheets. Just live in the moment, man. Oh, really? Is that why you have 17 alarms set and a backup plan for your backup plan? It's always the guy with a productivity planner and a Notion template for meal prep who's out here preaching detachment from outcomes. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Completely ignoring the future is actually a terrible strategy. Shocking, I know. But look, if you only live in the moment, you wake up 6 months later wondering why you're broke, out of shape, and why all your houseplants are dead. You become the person who's technically alive but hasn't actually enjoyed a single Wednesday in 3 years. Then you try to balance both, being present and planning ahead, and you run into what I call the mindfulness paradox. So basically, it's like trying to fall asleep by reminding yourself to fall asleep. Congratulations, you're now wide awake thinking about sleep. Same energy. And here's the kicker. The people who are actually good at living in the moment aren't trying to do it. They're just doing stuff they care about. They're not thinking, I should be more present right now. They are present, because what they're doing actually matters to them. That's the secret nobody puts on a Pinterest quote. Living in the moment isn't a thing you do. It's a thing that happens when you're doing something worth being present for. So, here's the actual advice. Stop trying to force mindfulness. Instead, build a life that naturally pulls your attention. Find work that absorbs you. Not just pays the bills, but actually engages your brain. Cultivate relationships that make you forget to check your phone because you're genuinely curious about what the other person is saying. Develop skills that demand your complete focus, like learning to cook something more complex than ramen, mastering a musical instrument, or having a conversation where you actually listen instead of planning what to say next. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you were so absorbed in something that you lost track of time? That's not mindfulness meditation. That's flow state. That's what presence actually feels like when it's real. Now, when you're genuinely engaged in something that matters to you, presence isn't something you have to remember to do. It just happens. You don't need a reminder app or a meditation cushion. You just need something worth paying attention to. But let's be honest, not everything in life can be peak engagement. What about all the mundane stuff? The commutes, the paperwork, the grocery shopping, the hold music that slowly erodes your will to live? Here's the thing, not every moment needs to be sacred. Some moments are just the cost of admission to the good ones. And that's actually liberating. You don't have to find deep meaning in waiting at the DMV or sitting through another pointless meeting. You can just acknowledge that these moments exist. Use those in-between times strategically. Plan your next move. Reflect on what's working and what isn't. Daydream about possibilities. Mentally rehearse that conversation you've been avoiding. Or just zone out completely. Sometimes your brain needs the break, and we can talk about that in another video. The pressure to make every single moment meaningful is exhausting. It's like trying to make every meal a five-star dining experience. Sometimes you just need a sandwich. And here's the kicker. When you're pursuing something meaningful, even the difficult moments become worth being present for. The late nights working on a project you believe in, the messy, complicated conversations that actually matter, the moments when you're scared, but doing it anyway. And I know those aren't comfortable moments, but they're alive moments. They're moments that make you feel like you're actually living your life instead of just getting through it. So, the next time someone tells you to live in the moment, ask yourself a better question. What kind of moments am I building in my life? Maybe you're not distracted because you lack discipline. Maybe you're distracted because you're not doing anything worth focusing on. And if that hits a little too close to home, don't worry. The good news is that unlike most self-help advice, this is something you can actually fix. So, here's what you're going to do. Start small. Find one thing that genuinely interests you and give it real attention. Not because you should be more present, but because it actually deserves your presence. And lastly, the moments worth living in, you'll know them when you find them. Because you won't have to remind yourself to be there.